I want to get to a little more detail on the turnout question in a moment, but first let's talk about the thing I brought up with Rick Davis, the fact that you have decided to make a late push in North Dakota, in Georgia, and even in McCain's home state of Arizona. Is there a touch of arrogance here? I mean, wouldn't it make more sense to focus your resources, focus your advertising and everything on the states that you need to lock up 270 electoral votes?
Well, Chris, we're doing everything we can in the core battlegrounds. Ohio, where Senator Obama will be today, Florida, Virginia, North Carolina, Indiana. All of those states, we're doing everything we think we need to do to try and win. In these three states, we've been organizing for some time. The reason Georgia is so competitive right now is all the organizational groundwork we put in, why you're seeing early vote numbers in such large measures. So in North Dakota, Georgia, Arizona, we think all three of those are going to be close. And there's benefit to having the playing field to yourself. One of the reasons we're so strong in states like Indiana, North Carolina, Virginia, even Florida, is the McCain campaign was arrogant. They were asleep at the switch and thought those states would not be competitive. So we had 2-3 months head start, advertising, organizing. So in North Dakota, Georgia, and Arizona, we think we have the playing field to ourselves. We think all three will be close, and we're going to give it a shot to see how. Now, I think John McCain should be favored in all three of those states, but we think they're going to be very close. And if you look at Georgia, the early vote there, similar to North Carolina, is just striking in terms of its composition. And we think we're headed to a very close finish there.
As we said at the top, you very rarely come on television, so I want to take this opportunity to ask you a couple of questions over the last 2 years. Your big insight, or at least it's credited to you, is that you, during the Democratic race, understood that with two well-financed candidates like Obama and Clinton, it was going to be a matter of a delegate race, a prolonged race, and that caucuses were just as important as primaries. What was your strategic insight for the general election?
Well, I think as a campaign, we decided, and we've obviously got terrific people working on this campaign who help make these decisions. Our number one strategic goal was to have a big playing field. We did not want to wake up on the morning of November 4th waiting for one state. We wanted a lot of different ways to win this election. Now, that wouldn't be possible without Senator Obama's appeal. We thought he'd have appeal in the western part of the country, have appeal in the mid-Atlantic and states like Virginia and North Carolina. So, but we accomplished that. Right now, John McCain is playing an enormous amount of defense. And again, they did not think states like Indiana, Florida, North Carolina, Montana would be competitive. Through the summer, through the early fall, we were campaigning there and advertising and organizing, and our opponent left the playing field empty. And so here we find ourselves 2 days out from the election with a lot of different ways to get to 270 electoral votes. We do not have to pull an inside straight. And so strategically, that was our most important goal. And again, one of the reasons we're able to do that is the organization. We can take on this big task of having this many states because we have millions of Americans who are owning the campaign in their own community and are our most effective messengers.